Coffee, would you like to get yourself comfortable, sir? Yeah, hi, I'm Paul Sarony. I'm a long-standing member of the Boat Club. I'm actually a film producer, 40 years in the film business. And before that, 20 years in theatre, where I was a theatre producer. I started off as an actor, and I went through stage management. I went through company management. I then went into television, from television into film, where I am now, with quite a large list of titles to my credits, beginning to semi-retire and work at the same time to have a little bit of fun with boats. It was quite a long time. It was a film with Judi Dench, Dame Judi Dench, and Billy Connolly. And it was called Mrs. Brown over here, and in America it was called Her Majesty Mrs. Brown. And we made it for an incredibly small amount of money, which originally was made for BBC Two in Scotland. And it was so good, it got the US distributors interested and turned into a feature film. And it was Oscar nominated, BAFTA winning, and so forth. And it was a lovely film to work on. Judi Dench is a lovely lady. Billy Connolly, hugely funny. Having dinner with them in the evening was just a treat, a real treat. And we shot in Scotland, we shot in the Isle of Wight, we shot in London. We moved all over the place. There was one particularly dodgy day when we had to film on the Isle of Wight at a castle there, which I can't remember what it's called now. It was her home for many years, the Queen Victoria's. And there was a beach scene there where we had the beach huts coming down on wheels to go in the water. But it was November. And Judi Dench said, a bit cold, isn't it? You know. So I said, well, if I go into the water, will you go in the water? Yeah, it's no problems. I was a little bit heavier then than I am now, quite a bit, 6 stone heavier. So I couldn't find a wetsuit or anything to fit me. But of course, all the actresses who had to go in had dry suits under their costumes. So I had to go in with me bathers in November. Osborne Castle, that was the one name of it, just off Cowes. I went into the water and I thought, right, I've gone in, I've proved it, go out. And then I get a word from the director, Judy, his feet are bouncing out of the water because of the wetsuit gave her too much buoyancy. Would you hold her feet down? So I spent the next hour holding her feet down under cold water. That was something I didn't particularly like about that project. She's a lovely lady. I've only worked with her once. I wish I had a chance to work with her more often. She was a dream to work with. She's a giggler. All the crew love her. There was no stardom in her eyes at all. She's just another member of the cast. That was the beauty about that. We had a lot of very well-known British actors, and none of them were any stars in their eyes. They were just a joy to work with. It was an ensemble piece, which was lovely. Well, I'm not a creative producer. I'm more a producer for hire, basically. So I did create a couple of films, a Royal premiere years ago with my very first film, but it was very difficult to finance films then. And I was the producer on it. I was what we call the line producer, further down organizing it. I was also an actor in it as well. And we had so much trouble with the finance that in actual fact, I never got paid as a producer, I never got paid as a line producer, but I got my one day as an actor back. And that was my creativity into films. And I thought, maybe I'll go back to being a gun for hire rather. So creating film is really tough. Financing films, particularly at the moment, incredibly tough. It's hopefully changing soon because there's a new tax credit coming in, and we're hoping low budget films will start again because the British film industry has been the best industry for making low budget films, really classy, good low budget films, great talent in front of and behind the camera. I started off there as an actor at the age of 16. My father was in Variety. He was one of the sort of early Morecambe and Wise, an act called The Two Leslies. And so because my parents were divorced, I had to spend the summer and the Christmas with my father. So at the age from 8 on, It was Christmas time was pantomime and summertime was summer shows. So I was into theatre from then on, basically, although I actually lived abroad in France on an American Army base where I learned to dive and lifeguard and all sorts of other bits and pieces of rubbish. And that's where some of my boating started, in a canoe from very early on. But I came back at the age of 16 to try to be an actor, which was very tough. I had 3 jobs a day, basically. I was working in the Hospital of Tropical Diseases as a clerk in the morning. In the afternoon, I was a link man. In the evening, I was backstage doing props and running sets and so forth, And so I did act for a while, but I discovered quite quickly, although I was in Doctor Who and Dixon and Doc Green and Z-Cars and Love Story, that after a while, I did not have God's gift to the acting, basically, and I thought I better find another career. And that's when I went, so to speak, behind stage, from that on behind camera now. I have absolutely. It is my love, my time, even now when I'm coming back from busy films, a time to go on the boat and enjoy myself. It's the one time everything will drop, basically. Because as a film producer, you're working on the set for 12, 14 hours, and then you've got another 4 hours talking Los Angeles. If you get 6 to 8 hours sleep, you're doing well 6 days a week. So to come home and then be able to go out on the boat and on the water, your concentration has to go to skipper the boat, which is good because it's a different form of concentration. It's safety on the boat, but then you get so much enjoyment. Once you're out, you're anchored down, at peace in the world. It's so peaceful. I started from the age of 8 or 9 with a canoe and worked on from that on. I worked in the boat business for a few years. I had a water ski business. I had a boat sales business. I delivered boats. I was a boat yard manager for a while when I came out of the industry and before going back into it. So I got into boats very heavily then, but I've always been in boats, basically. A long time. I think it must be about 5 years. It was year 2, basically. And it was starting then, and it has grown to such an amazing facility now. It was basic but very good at that point, and I enjoyed it then. But Chris and his team have just added and added and added, and now there's a great social side to it as well, where it doesn't just go and get a boat. But it's such a wonderful exercise and relaxation to come to the boat club. The boat's ready for you. You walk on. The boys who look after the boats make sure you're safe. You go out, you enjoy yourself, you come back, hand it to them, they take care of it. It is such fun and relaxation, plus all the social side that goes with it as well. The beauty about the boat club for me is I've had boats and I've owned boats for many years. The last boat I bought, I think, was £120,000. I sold it for $60,000 after 6 years. I'd lost that amount of money, and it was costing me probably $15,000 every year to run in marina charges. The beauty about the boat club is I don't have those charges. I have an annual charge or a monthly charge, whichever way you option, and that's it. All I have to worry about is the fuel charges, and I've got a selection of boats. My wife loves to go out in the little chug-chug, when we just go up the river. Another time I'll take people out and we'll go down to Yarmouth, or we'll go to so you can do little or large, basically. Large being the operative, in my case. Relaxation for me is, I love eating, again, as is self-evident, and good quality wine and good company. And that's my relaxation. I don't relax going to the films because I pick the films apart, or watching television. My wife hates it because I say, oh, look at that, the continuity is dreadful, the lighting is awful, whatever it is. So she hardly ever watches television in the same room as me. So my relaxation sometimes will be to see a film on them, but I love going to cinema as well, because it's the one time you can concentrate what's on the screen. Whereas at home, you can't, because the tea's going, somebody's knocking on the door, the phone's going, somebody else is on their iPhone. So that is a relaxation, going to see a good film as well. But eating, meeting with friends, having a good glass of wine. I'm an early goer, my wife's a late. My wife could be in the English team for Olympic sleeping. She enjoys her relaxation. I'm an early riser. I love the early morning. When I used to deliver boats and so forth. I always used to go take off very early in the morning, soon first light, because you get some of the best conditions. And I love the early mornings. So rise early, lemon and ginger tea, rye vita, and we're off on our way. Anchorage, I suppose, the most frequent one. We go into Swanage Bay on the east end of Swanage Bay, which is very quiet. The water is very clear. It's a bit chillier there, but the water is very clear. And usually if the wind's coming from anything northerly, you're pretty well protected. I don't like going into busy anchorages. I don't like to go where there's loads of jet skis. I like to go where it's somebody quiet, so it's nice. But there's a lot in the harbour as well. I love going up, up the river, to the little towns up the river, which is a treat as well. And you can go to that lovely hotel, restaurant, the Priory, tie up, have a cup of tea or go for lunch, get back in the boat. Wonderful day out. There's a hotel in Yarmouth that I like as well, but I haven't been there for a few years. And also if I go up to Buckler's Hard and then you walk through the forest up to Bewley, there's a really nice restaurant in Bewley, but I haven't done that for a few years either. If you've got a membership from the larger boats, you can go up the Bewley River, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Very easy to navigate. You just watch your tides a little bit, but it's very easy to navigate, and there's usually a spare pontoon to tie up to, and it's so charming out there. That's a good hour's run up and an hour's run down. Life advice, as I often teach at the National Film School, and I always say to my students, my key word is respect. Respect everyone. From the window cleaner, from the door cleaner to the managing director, everyone should have the same amount of respect for each other. And I think if we all have that same respect for each other, life could be a better place. As a young man, I wanted to get into the Navy. I have a love of water. I've always been in, under, or on the water. I jet skied, I surf, but not nowadays. I was a qualified diver. All the different forms of water, in, under, or I love aquariums. They're a lovely place to go to. And I think that's what I would have got into if I didn't get into the entertainment business as such. That's a difficult one, I love sports. I'm a great rugby fanatic, football fanatic, most sports, cricket. I suppose exciting me is meeting interesting people. I love people. When I lived in France, I could sit in a cafe and just watch the world go by and try, and understand what people were. People intrigue me, people excite me. Life excites me with people in life itself. I suppose a chocolate marzipan. I've just been teaching 30 students at the National Film School over 10 weeks. And my wife would come with me occasionally, and the students wanted to buy me various presents and things and that, which was lovely. And I came back with about 10 boxes of chocolates, nearly all of them marzipan, because they'd all talk to my wife. He loves chocolate marzipan, but give them to me because I can only have one a day. I suppose the perfect day would be Mediterranean weather in Poole. Poole is a beautiful place if you choose your weather, and it can be nice. And I'm very excited that the club's now got more enclosed boats, which means we can do more all-weather boating, because the Mediterranean's weather. So, taking a boat out of the Mediterranean weather, then coming in and having a great, if you're somewhere down in Greece or somewhere, going to a lovely Greek taverna in the evening. But you can do that in Poole as well, with a French restaurant, a Spanish restaurant as well. You can stay in the evening around the club for a while, enjoy it, because sometimes Poole has the best weather in the evenings. We have to come in at a certain time to be safe, but then it doesn't mean we can't still enjoy our time on the boat or in the club premises. And enjoy the weather, enjoy the company. And that is a treat, And of course, there's a good restaurant here as well, because it's all on our doorstep. Always at the helm. Yeah, I've been out here for too long, got my the skipper, day skipper, and all the rest of it. Delivered boats in some dreadful conditions, all, all around England, from up to Scotland and then down east and west coast. Um, I respect myself. I My wife watches me always. I like to have a good crew member. To me, skipper and good crew member, you can do anything. Skipper on his own, that's difficult because you can't do everything. You need to have a competent crew member who can handle lines, who can be a second pair of eyes watching for you, because you've got 360 degrees. It's not little car, you're only wide about 180 to a certain extent. It's 360. Somebody's coming behind you, coming to the side. So you need that crew member with you. I love my boating. I love my good food. And I love theatre. I love going to see theatre. I love musicals. I'm in a local choir. I sing in a choir. So now that I'm half retired from films, I can actually do things with the Poole and Parkeston Local Amateur Society. I'm in a local choir. And so I get a lot of joy at the moment now out of singing, strange enough. Not sure the wife does. We're rehearsing at home a lot, but I enjoy it. Gosh, that's difficult because I have been all around the world. When I ran the ballet company where my wife was a dancer, we toured everywhere, Australia, America, Korea, Japan. Japan was a fascinating country, I have to say. But we were also, Singapore was interesting. Kuala Lumpur in the old days was very interesting. Now it's a modern city. So a lot of cities have changed, but I also spent quite a lot of time filming both in Budapest and Hungary and Prague. And Budapest is a really interesting city and a really interesting country. So I enjoy that as well. I don't do a lot with charities other than the film and television charity, which I try to do as much as possible with them. But I will offer my help to charities generally speaking. I skipper a sailing boat for disabled people in the harbour, which is a registered charity. So, I give quite a lot of time to that, which is wonderful to take disabled people out on the water in a safe sailing boat. We're able to go out to Old Harry and to Swanage Bay and come back. And that's lovely to be able to give specific, to see the enjoyment of people. It's one thing giving money, but it's another when you can get the enjoyment of offering something to people that they don't get and can't get. So I love to try and invite people who don't have it to enjoy something I have. I get more enjoyment out of them than probably them, but that is great fun to do that. I have a sweater that my wife bought from Australia, which has got 8 colours in it. It's like the Jesus Christ Superstar type coat, basically. It's got, and every time I wear it, people say, "Where did you get it from? Where can I buy one?" And it's just one of those things. It's so comfortable and so noticeable by her, and it's a joy to wear because it gives me the colours of my life in what I'm wearing. I just finished watching Riviera. It was exceptionally good. It was 27 episodes. We were watching about 3 episodes a night. It's difficult because I love Red Shoes. It was a ballet film. I'm married to a ballet dancer. I ran a ballet company for 10 years. I toured Margot Fonteyn and Rudolph Nureyev around the world for 4 years. And it's a ballet company in the film set in Monte Carlo, which I have been and taken ballet companies to. In the old days, Monte Carlo was a lovely city. Now it's too modernized, sadly. So I have a lot of connection to it in terms of the ballet, the characters and the place. So it's a lovely film. But I do love a lot of the old Ealing comedies. I can't remember the titles of them. There's one where London gets set into 2 separate countries. No, I can't remember the titles of them. Very, very bad. I have a very bad name on titles. What's your name?
Love that. Oh, thanks so much. That was awesome.
Didn't say much about the boat, but I tried to get it feeded in.